Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. We are back in the Brock Bourbon Bar, and I have no idea why the chuckles are going on again tonight. Man, I tell you what, we have to stop pre-gaming, fellas. That's all I need to know. Jared over here cannot contain himself. But I do appreciate you bringing in some Old Forester.
You're welcome. Sorry, I didn't get up close to the mic.
Sorry. Hit it like you do dicks. Make sure you get up close. Anyway,
he's not drinking right now.
I really appreciate you bringing in. You brought in an Old Forester 86.
Yes, sir.
And we brought
Everybody's
that in
favorite,
to
old reliable.
To
put up against,
just contest.
Not really contest, just to kind of compare.
Compare, yes.
More compare.
To a 1995 Old Faux 86.
Yep.
So I'm super excited to try these. You know me. I love the Old Faux. I'm not Old Faux fanboy. I'm not Mr. Josh, but
with his big old schnoz.
But that's jazz.
Oh, that's his jazz. Now I'm
what
sorry,
are you doing, man.
I'm sorry. I got it mixed up.
I'll kick you in the nuts later. Anyway, so Old Faux 86. It's a tried and true. This is what every bartender in Kentucky uses to make a well or to do different things with, or it could be the 100 proofer. It's consistent, man. It is what it is. You're going to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Going to get some caramel, you get some green apple. Sometimes you get a little bit of that banana. But man,
it's not going to hit you hard.
It's not going to hit you hard. It's super smooth.
It's a great intro bourbon for anybody.
But it's got a lot of fruity notes for an entry-level bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's
it's
a tried and true, man. That's a tried and true. I don't think you're going to spin that one.
I'm not going to, no.
It's one of those things that for an entry, you would expect kind of like the standard flavors to come off the nose. Your caramel, kind of like a molasses, brown sugar, some probably dark oak, wood flavor.
Notes. Yep.
But really, you don't expect that fruit note to come off of one of those lower proofers.
Yep. And it always does. You always get, like I said, either some apple or you get a little bit of banana. There's different things that you're going to get off these typically. And I know every batch is a little bit different, but they're super, super consistent, even though they are different. But
they were very consistent.
Do you know the first year that they came out with Old Faux 86? When that would have been?
I mean, it would have been, I assume it would have been
1870?
1870, yeah, when the original
I'm just joking.
Came out, but I don't know.
1870 was.
But 86 proof.
I mean, you are not going to
1870, the original 1870 was 90, wasn't it 90 proof?
I don't know. I just went on the tour and I have no idea.
Whiskey
I don't
Roasters.
remember.
So was this 95 bottle from Tom?
Yeah, it is 90. It is 90 proof. Yes, you're right. No, that's just saying. What's up?
Was that a Tom's bottle?
This one was, yes.
Yep.
My huge shout out to my wonderful Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom. He gifted me this bottle after I found it because I was looking through his cabinets, and I found that bottle, and I was like, that's cool. And so I asked him if I could have it, and I would pay him for it, and he said, it's all yours. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome, thank you very much. So
we have to go to Uncle Tom's house, and we'll do an episode one night.
If you want to share your
we'll
thoughts,
take him
Nick?
some stupid stuff over there.
Does he have a cabin?
Oh, my God.
What's your definition of a cabin? I'm joking. No, he doesn't.
You said you were looking through his cabin, not cabinet.
Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
So I was looking through his cabin.
I was looking up cabin.
Well, thank you for joining Bourbon Barrel Talk this evening.
Oh, my God. But yes.
I mean,
but right now
Old
we're just
Faux
sipping on
86.
regular, modern Old Faux 86, which you would find at the store right now.
Caramel, tobacco, a little bit of rye, a little bit of
You are
vanilla.
not going to find a
little bit of fruit.
4 to 6 year old bourbon.
Yeah, and 4 to 6 years. I think it's actually 5 or 6 years. I don't think there's any 4-year-old juice in here.
You're not going to find something at that age that's this balanced at 86 proof.
For the price point as well.
Yeah,
and for the price
yeah,
point.
that's $19.99, $21.99. I mean,
it was $23, $22.99.
You probably bought it at a local store. Oh, it was a Kroger?
$22.99.
I get them all the time for $19.99. All the time. $19.99, $21.99.
Cool. Kroger on State Street. They're a bunch of
24 is usually what I pay for the
Jacquelines.
100 proofers. I don't know.
It was $24.99 for the 100 proofer.
I'm not adding water to this because there's no reason to.
That's so low
But-
proof, you don't need to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
I mean,
it's Old Faux. I mean,
It's
like
balanced,
it's
it's lovely,
good. Yeah.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
I'm about to say the only other one that I could say that would be a challenge, or at least be in a ballpark for this, but it's an allocated bottle now, is Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
Just regular Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace can't. It can't hang.
You know what?
I said it's in the ballpark. I didn't say it's
Can't
neck
hang.
and neck.
Yeah. We blinded
but
that
it's-
multiple times.
I was just thinking of that early times. The Brown Foreman early times. But it's 100 proof though.
It's 100 proof.
Yeah, it's 100
So
proof.
I wouldn't want to put it up against it.
No.
To me, honest to goodness, and it is an allocated bottle. The only bottle that I know of that's at the similar proof, similar age, is Hancock's Reserve. That to me, I will take all day over OFO. That's one of the few that I would take over a standard OFO.
It's only like $10, $15 more, right?
No, they're like $49.99,
Who distills that?
$59.99. Yeah, Hancock's Reserve.
Hancock's Reserve.
It's a Buffalo
It's
Trace
a single
product,
barrel. It's a Buffalo
but you
Trace.
can only get them in liquor barn.
Yeah, only get them in Liquor Bar in the state of Kentucky.
In the state of Kentucky, I'm sorry.
And it's same mash bill as Blanton's, Rock Hill, and
And there's just something about, and I think it's because it's balanced so well at that 88.6 or 88.9, whatever the proof is that it comes out. But it's just they're flavor bombs. They're just caramel and all kinds of great stuff that goes on
That
with those.
sounds really good too.
I had a little bit of this the other night, the modern 86, just to kind of refresh myself with it, because it has actually been a long time since I've had it, and the banana note was more faint than what I was looking for, what I was expecting.
Yeah,
But when I also had some of the 100 proof. That banana note is strong in that.
It's much more prevalent in the 100 proofer than it is the 86.
It's also a lot. I got a little bit of some apple in there too on the 100 proof.
For me, with that, so Old Forester for me, it's banana, apple, or cherry. Like those are typically the fruits that I get off Old Forester,
Right.
And it's usually a darker cherry. That's consistently those are the notes that I typically pick up, and I usually get caramel. I get a little bit of leather, different things. But like the leather is going to be interchangeable with sometimes, a little bit of like tobacco. Like those two notes are going to go, against each other. Like I'm going to pick up one of those two typically. So I don't know. All right. 1995. Let's see what this bad boy does. Anybody going to go in, dive on this nose?
So
Dusty
different.
caramel goodness right there,
So
buddy.
different.
Yeah, it's there's just a fundamental difference, and I would love to know that time frame whenever that shift happens, because to me this is a traditional dusty nose.
I mean, even look at the legs on this one. I mean, for an 86 proof bourbon, I mean, just look at it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have that much.
What's the color differential on those? I didn't really look that closely on the
So,
bottle. Is the
I
one darker, a lot darker?
I think the 95 is lighter.
No, I think it's a little.
It's
darker.
a hair darker. Yeah,
Really?
It's not
no
much.
way.
It's very close.
It's they're very close.
I'll
But
pour more of this one of the regular 80, the modern 86. As I'll call
I just
it.
need to see it in a glass and not through the.
It's a little easier to see. in the
yeah, I
glass.
think it's just a touch darker. The older one is.
yeah.
So to me,
very
that's what I'm
close.
wondering is maybe if one of them is a blend of 5 and
Yeah.
6 year old
It's-
bourbon, and the other
yeah,
one's
it's
like
okay.
5,
now
6,
that-
and 7
It's
year
a little
old.
more brown. It's got a little more red, a little more amber in there. Oops, sorry.
Caramel.
Sorry.
Jesus, it's like your first fucking podcast.
I was trying to sit it down and I did.
A little bit of wood, some fruit. Man,
It just hits
I'm
different.
getting more of the cherry on this one.
Yeah,
apple and cherry. Yeah,
Apple and cherry.
Yeah.
apple cherry wood.
That's what
like
it
light
is.
caramel.
But it's a the apple smells totally different than like on the 100 proofer.
Now that no,
I think it does.
Now this actually eerily smells very similar to the dusty early times we tried.
Yep, that 1990 Dusty or the 68. Yep.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
it actually is that candied apple.
Yeah, candied apple, caramel apple. Yep. Those suckers.
But not to where like the sweetness is overpowering the flavor of the apple.
Yeah, it's not overpowering.
I'm gonna have to take this back over to Uncle Tom and let him.
Oh my god.
him-
Yeah. For sure.
He's gonna
Yeah.
need to. I'm gonna have to give him
The
some
apple's not quite as prevalent
that's
on
so
this one on the flavor profile as that 91 ET we had. But man, it's definitely very, very similar. Like it's got a lot of things that are very reminiscent of that one.
A lot of flavor.
Caramel, a little bit of leather.
Now, one thing that I noticed on this one is that it lingers a lot more than that regular 86.
Yeah.
The finishes
Holds to your tongue.
Oh yeah,
Coat your mouth a little bit more, but I mean, it should
the
look.
legs.
That's what I'm saying. The legs on this thing's outstanding.
But with the finish, I don't get it in the throat. It is all mouth finish, and that's
I agree.
wild. What?
It's all mouth fit.
Oh my god!
Didn't get it in your throat.
Daddy.
Hey, John. What's that over there? That's what she said.
Yeah. Man,
I
that is
wasn't pointing at you. I was just
that is a
being an ass.
ton,
Like
a
normal-
ton of caramel.
Sorry when I was talking to Barbara.
and it still has that dusty nose, just kind of lingers. Like it's just like an old wood finished or unfinished wood.
That really is that really is what it is. That weird
What is it?
Dusty funk kind of thing. It really is the wood
It's almost
On
like
this, at least.
unfinished cut wood.
Yeah. As you're saying that,
Yeah,
you keep-
100%.
I think that's like the third or fourth time you've said it, and it finally clicked with me that time. It's like that's just what it is.
So if
Like, it's-
anyone just
I think
blind,
the wood's just different.
If they blind tasted this, would you be able to pick out that it was an old faux?
Yes.
I don't know if just by nose,
This one?
I could tell you by which one would be older, which is the oldest, just by nose. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you what it was unless it was like more of the closer to 100 proof. Whenever you get more of that banana flavor to it, which is more stereotypical old faux.
Yeah, but I think the nose is very. I mean, like as soon as I cracked that bottle, that was the first thing I was like, "Oh, that's Ovo." I mean, like I just knew it. Like I mean, I put it in there, I put it in the glass. I took a little sip.
It hit all the marks.
Yeah,
for
it hits
being
the
an
marks.
old
Yeah, I
faux.
mean, just
So, what is Old Forester's unique maturation process?
unique maturation process.
That's what it says here on the back.
I mean, I guess it's
I was just
Now the thing is, it might be different from
95
95
to today, but
true
I mean, honestly, I
because it literally says it gets its final flavor and color solely from the unique maturation process.
Yeah.
quote for quote.
yeah, unique. I guess because they're barrel to glass. I mean, they make their own
guess.
barrels. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
I mean, because they own their own cooperages.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the other places are buying their barrels from ISC or wherever else, Kelvin, those type of things. That's the only thing I can come up with as far as a unique maturation process. But
I
don't know.
also appreciate the labeling on the 95 bottle.
Very classy.
It's very
Dude,
classy.
I love the bottle, that hand grip, the three holds, the circles. Like, there's just something about the feel of that bottle when you pick it up. It's just, it's heartier. It's got a nice grip.
character.
They want to
Yeah.
make sure that whenever you stumble, you don't drop it.
That's right.
It's very it's like this was, if you look at this compared to a President's Choice or one of the Whiskey Row series bottles, it's very much like this is, the old school style, and then
Yep.
it progressed up, through the years into that newer, the modern looking style that
Yeah.
they have for those bottles.
Yeah, I mean, even the 77 and the 79 I had those handholds. So, I mean, like that was a tried and true bottle design they had for years and years and years. I don't remember when they went away from those.
Bring the handholds back.
Well, yeah, for
Let's get it going.
Simply for
Sign a
an
petition.
86 proofed bourbon whiskey in the 90s, it seems like there was some love and care put into the bottling.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just in general. I mean, we've talked about this over and over and over again as far as there was a lot more care put into old bourbon because it wasn't as hot, right? Like, I mean, so they really crafted it, I felt like, a little bit more because it wasn't as popular. So therefore they wanted to make everything a little bit better to make it more popular.
And probably there was a lot more because it wasn't as popular. There was a lot more aged bourbon waiting to be used in at least some of the lower proofage ranges that wasn't, flying out the door like it is today.
As opposed to kind of having to hit a quota.
Yes,
that
exactly.
You're producing it so much in mass year to year. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Scott,
Sir.
question for you. Since you already made the comment about, we've talked about this over and over again, I have a question that's been asked over and over again. What's a stone fruit?
I'm waiting for something to fly.
I'll be gentle because it's not my house. But anyway,
Scott would have a pedal by his foot that he just presses, and a trap door falls out from under the chair.
Yeah.
Jared would slide down into like the
like
torture room.
the
I'm,
monster.
I'm thinking more of like a shock vest that he puts on, and so whenever Jared gets out of line, he just goes.
We're gonna get a shock
it's
collar.
in the headphones.
Shock collar.
I'd rather
shock
you
collar.
just buy a taser.
Like a dog shock collar. Just put it on.
Buy a taser.
Gonna
I think
be
you
a
just shoot me with a
baller.
tase gun.
Shot collar.
That's right. Shock collar. Yep, I like that. I'm going to get a shock collar for Jared. And anytime he says something
sounds
dumb,
weird.
I'm just going to push the button.
What?
That was very BDSM-esque.
BDMSM. What?
BDSM.
Okay.
Esque.
I guess.
Did you say BDMSM?
Yes.
I thought he said. That's what he
Welcome
said.
to the Bondage National Network. Thank you for tuning in.
S&M. Get your friend. S&M.
Well, thank you for
Let the party
Bourbon
begin.
No, man.
All right. So I think we're going to cut this one short and sweet. To me, I don't. Man,
I like the
I
modern
hate to say
better.
you like
I'm
the
just
modern.
kidding.
I was
I'm
about to
just
say.
kidding.
Get out of fucking town.
All right.
Now,
So
the only thing I would think is that if we put the 100 up against it, it would be closer. I don't think it would, but I think the 100 would give it more of a run.
Can we do
so
that?
do you have 100 here?
don't think I do.
I should have brought that. I thought about bringing
I would have brought one. Yeah.
I thought about bringing it and I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think it would have mattered, honestly. I mean, there's something about these Dusties. I think that they hold up very, very well against most modern day bourbons.
The only thing is, I think that 100's going to have a little bit more of a darker, like more of a brown sugar or something like that to it compared to this one. Be the only thing I could think.
I will say though, if you go back and sniff the glasses, like it's not as rich as like some of those other bourbons that we drank, and go back and smell, and you get something, but it's because of that 86 proof, like it's a lot of it's just dissipated, like it's just gone. But I don't know. Two great pours. They're very unique in their own right. As far as I feel like Old Foe is Old Foe. Like it's hard to dismiss. We blinded those Old Foresters and Buffalo Trace when we did the podcast that one time, and like we immediately, I was like, that's Old Forester, that's Old Forester. Like we just knew, versus Buffalo Trace what was what. So I mean, I find that Old Forester is just a little bit more unique than most other.
That was a great episode.
But I'm going to take the old school 1995 as my favorite. It was a good year. It's a year I graduated high school, so I'm going to take that as my winner. I think this is going to be a landslide. What do you got, John?
I had a great 10th birthday in 1995.
1995?
So I'm going to go with that, yes.
There we go.
I would have had this with my cake.
There you go. Cake and eat it too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can say that I was 16 in 95, but I will take the old 95 over the 86.
Gotcha.
I can tell you that my parents, I guess, were having a great time in 1995 because I was born in 96.
There you go.
So I'm going to go with the 95.
There we go. Hot dang.
Gross.
Unanimous.
It wasn't even supposed to be gross. It was just a joke.
What month were you born in 96?
September.
Yeah. It would have been.
Right on the cusp.
You were a New Year's baby.
Right on the cusp.
Say New Year's fun.
New Year's fun.
So before we end the episode, just as a question to listeners that like would love to be able to get their hands on a Dusty, what is the best way to go after a bottle like this?
Honestly,
listeners, don't talk to John.
Rummaging through your older relatives' cabinets are typically
their cabins.
Their cabins. That's right. When you rummage through your older neighbors and your older relatives' cabins, you can find.
We're gonna get so much
Dusty
shit
bottles.
for that comment.
The other thing is always kind of estate sales too.
Yeah, estate sales are probably the most common that you will find them because I don't care who you are, where you are, who you know, whatever. Like even probably Barbara's dad at one point, somebody gave him a bottle of bourbon.
Barbara, would you
him a
like
bottle of bourbon? I'm not saying he drank it, but somebody gave him a bottle of bourbon or something like that, and Barbara's saying no. But I always find that even people that don't drink, for some strange reason, when you go to their house, there's always a bottle of bourbon there because somebody gifted it to them or something like that, and literally it's never opened, never done anything with. Maybe those Baptists, they know better, but I don't know. Barbara's still like, no, my dad never got bourbon.
Her father was a PK.
Gotcha.
penalty kicker?
Preacher's kid.
That actually makes sense.
I
was just being an ass.
I had a preacher's daughter one time.
Those are the rebellious ones.
Man, the only boy that ever did me.
Yeah.
Was the son of a preacher man.
We've all seen Footloose. That's all I'm saying.
Have we?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I've seen the original.
The original Footloose was Kevin Bacon.
Unless there was one that came out in the 1800s, then
Yes,
no.
okay.
But
All right.
the
All right.
original.
Is that when the
one-
worms came out of the ground and killed everyone? Because they ate their feed.
I also saw the newer one. Well, I actually didn't really see it, but the one with Julianne Hough.
Oh, Julianne
I just
Hough.
went to go watch it just to look
Julianne
at her.
Hough, that's right.
Smoking.
Absolutely. All right. So that's our review of Old Forester 86 proof regular and 86 proof 1995. Landslide 95 winner. And if you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitter. My favorite medium actually is I've been really, really enjoying Instagram for a lot lately. I've been posting some stuff up there. So if you got questions, you can DM us there, or you can email us bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you get us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, whatever your favorite medium is. This is Scott signing off from Bourbon Barrel Talk with Jared, Nick, and John. Peace out.
Thank you, Uncle Tom.